going to outline some of the main points that we've worked with. Those include religion, integration, isolated societies, desperation, and the people from the countries that we're working with. It's been very UK based, and also it's, of course, a very relevant theme looking at Syria. So to look into the point of religion, I think one of the big texts we've worked with that really reflects this is My Son the Fanatic, because you see how religion and his roots really just come in and shift the entirety of the life he was living, because his father put in so much effort to make his life in Britain integrated and part of the society, and still when he just becomes part of this group that he feels home, he feels like this is where I came from, this is who I actually am, it goes right back to where he was. And so it just shows really the fragility of integration and how it's easily broken. And I think it really reflects how important integration is, but how hard it is to reach. You can see how the father is just desperate and in need of his son to live a life that is normal and integrated and part of the society, but they live outside of the real society, outside of the real British society, and so it's easy to be shifted out of that part. You see a lot of this in Long Nights, Low Pay, and No Play. It's very much the same problem because he lives with the people from his own country. He lives in Britain, but he doesn't live in Britain with the British people. He lives in his own isolated society, works a lot, works hard, works long hours, and also you see that these conditions for the people who don't really integrate themselves are horrifying. They don't live a good life. They don't have the perks that they should have. Another way we've seen this is with Dirty Pretty Things, because they really are not part of anything. They're very lonely. And so you see how they get all isolated, and it also makes them desperate. You know, they get into this whole thing with the organ smuggling based on the fact that they don't have anything. They have goals and dreams, but they can't get there. And so they're desperate and willing to do anything. And I think you see this as a pattern throughout with the immigration. For example, also when we work with the crisis in Calais, you see in the videos we saw how desperate these people are. They're willing to die for the idea of a better life somewhere else. These people do not integrate themselves. They do not become part of the society. But I don't think you can just blame that on the people who are immigrating. As we've seen that it's not just them, it's also the people within the country. For example, in the UK, we read the text that how the United Kingdom are a reluctant country of immigration. It's not just the immigrants, it's also the people of Britain, because they're scared and they're afraid of the immigrants because of maybe the media and stuff like that, but they shouldn't be, because in order for them to be part of the country, they need to be accepted, and they're not. Here are two quotes from United Kingdom, a reluctant country of immigration. People identify race and immigration as one of the top 3 most important issues facing the country. Securing borders and convincing the public that the government is in control to meeting labor market needs and accelerating immigrant integration. So this just shows that the fear of these people that they don't know is making it really hard for the immigrants to become part of the societies. So to sum it all up, I think throughout we've really seen how people are reluctant to accept that we're merging together. We're living many people together at a time. This is multiculturalism. I didn't realize people were that closed up about taking people in, because I've seen successful integration in my life. You need certain things to be successful. I think you need to learn the language. You need to be willing to try and become part of what they find to be their culture. You can't come in and expect them to be part of your. Still, of course, they need to accept that you have your own and that you come with something else. With religion and all these things, we really see how there are some really big things and big problems that make it really hard for people to accept each other. And immigration is a good thing because it brings so much to countries. It makes them new and makes them better, makes them different.